Welcome to Listen and Sleep. Find a comfortable position. Let your shoulders drop. Let your breath grow a little slower. There is no need to hurry. Not your body, not your thoughts. We continue our journey through the world of ancient India, along its rivers and dusty roads, through its teachings that were born amid heat and lotus blossoms, amid fire and silence. Today's story did not arise in the stillness of a cave or the peace of a forest ashram. It arose on a battlefield, right before the beginning of a bloody war, and it became, perhaps, the most piercing conversation about freedom that has ever taken place. There is a question people ask themselves more often than they realize. Can you do your work, ordinary, difficult, sometimes brutal work, and remain inwardly calmer than a hermit in the mountains? What if the most direct path to freedom is not a retreat from the world, but a return to its very heart? Today we will look for the answer in the last place you would expect to find it. On the field of Kurukshetra. Imagine a plain in the first light of dawn, northern India, long before the Common Era. The mist still lies low, milky, warm, carrying the scent of earth and a nearby river. The grass is pressed flat by thousands of feet. The fires have burned down. The air is still. But this silence is not peace. It is the silence before something vast. Two armies face each other. The Kaurava forces on one side, hundreds of thousands of warriors, war elephants, taut bows, banners barely stirring in the morning air. On the other side, the Pandava army, just as immense, just as silent, just as ready. Between them, empty space, a strip of earth that will be covered with bodies within a few hours. And into this silence, a sound rises. High, drawn out, piercing. Krishna blows his conch. Panchajanya. The sound of the white shell lifts over the field, spreads in all directions, reaches both armies. And at once, another conch answers. Devadatta, Arjuna's conch. The two sounds weave together in the morning air, then fade across the plain. The signal is given. It will begin soon. In the open space between the two armies stands a chariot. White horses, high wooden sides darkened by the road. On the driver's seat, a charioteer in yellow. On the battle platform behind him, a warrior in armor, a bow in his hand. The charioteer's name is Krishna. The warrior's name is Arjuna. Krishna holds the reins lightly, almost casually, the way you hold something you know well. His face is calm. His eyes look forward at the two lines of armies, at the forest of banners and spears, at the thousands of people who wait. Arjuna stands. His bow, Gandiva, is in his right hand, the string drawn. He is the greatest warrior of his age. He knows this field. He spent years preparing for this battle. His hands are at home with the bow, the way a musician's hands are at home with an instrument. But something happens. Arjuna looks out and begins to see faces. Not just an army, faces. There in the front ranks of the Kauravas stands Drona, his teacher, the one who first placed a bow in the boy's hands, the one whose hands used to correct his elbow, whose voice explained the angle of aim, the meaning of effort, the price of precision. Drona knew everything about Arjuna. He knew when Arjuna was rushing. He knew when Arjuna was afraid, but pretending not to be. And now that teacher stood at the far end of the field, armed, ready. There stands Bhishma, the grandfather, old as the earth of this plain itself, with a white beard that Arjuna once touched with his boyhood hands. Bhishma, who told them stories on long evenings, whose voice was quiet but steady, like a river that does not argue with its banks, yet keeps flowing. Bhishma, too, stood among the Kauravas. And there, cousins, childhood companions, people he had seen at feasts and in gardens, whose names and voices and habits he knew by heart. A warm wind moves across the field. It carries the smell of dust and horses. Arjuna stands without moving. Something changes in him, slowly, the way the light changes before a storm. His hand, that same hand which had released the bowstring hundreds of times without hesitation, begins to grow heavy. His fingers still hold the string, but with less certainty. The bow, the great Gandiva, which he had never dropped in battle, begins to slip, slowly, unstoppably. Arjuna does not hold it back. The bow falls to the floor of the chariot with a quiet wooden sound. The bow has fallen. It was not thrown down. It simply slid away, as if the hand had forgotten how to hold. Arjuna stood on the chariot and looked at what he did not want to see. Faces. Hundreds of faces he knew. Faces that had been part of his life for so long they had become part of himself. There, Drona, his teacher, the one who placed the first bow in a boy's hands, the one who taught him to stand straight, breathe steadily, see the target through the wind. And now that teacher stood at the other end of the field, armed, ready. There, Bhishma, the grandfather, the old warrior with the white beard that Arjuna had touched as a child. Bhishma, who told stories on long evenings, whose voice was quiet but firm, like a river that does not argue with its banks, yet keeps flowing. And there, his cousins, Duryodhana, with whom he had fought as a boy, with whom he had feuded, though feuded is not quite the right word. They had grown up together, eaten from the same hands, slept under the same roof. Between them stretched so many years of shared life that this enmity itself felt like pain, the sharp kind that only comes between people who are close. Arjuna felt his arms grow heavy, not from fatigue, from something else, as though water had entered his body and was slowly rising from his feet upward. His legs became numb, his knees like an old man's. His mouth went dry, and when he tried to swallow, he could not. A coldness passed through him, though the morning was warm. That particular cold that comes not from outside, but from within. When the body understands something before the mind has time to think. He lowered himself to the floor of the chariot. He simply sat down in the middle of the field, between two armies, amid all that dust and tension and waiting. The great archer Arjuna, whom every warrior in this war feared, sat on the wooden boards and could not rise, and he began to speak. Words came on their own, like water from a cracked vessel, not in a flood, but steadily. What is the use of victory if it comes through the blood of teachers? What does a kingdom mean if it is bought by the deaths of the very people it was meant to serve? For whom, then? For what? Better to beg at the side of the road, he said. Better to become a wandering pauper and go from village to village with an empty bowl than to kill those who taught you to walk, than to step over those who once held you in their arms. He spoke of sin, of how killing one's own kin is the gravest of sins, that if teachers and elders perish, order will collapse, and everything else will follow. Families, customs, the laws that hold the world together. He spoke, and in his words there was a strange logic, a kind of morality. Listening to him, you might have thought, here is a man who has risen above revenge, one who is stronger than his wounds, who stands above war. But Krishna listened in silence. He did not agree. He did not object. He simply listened. He held the reins of the horses, who stood quietly, as though waiting too. He looked at Arjuna with a gaze that was difficult to hold, not harsh, not cold, but very steady, the gaze of one who sees not only the surface. And Arjuna went on speaking about karma that would press down on him like a heavy stone, about fear, about hands that would not obey, about not knowing what was right, about how it would be better to die here than to kill. And then he fell silent. The dust on the field settled a little. Somewhere far off, a horse snorted. Both armies stood and waited. The morning continued, indifferent, bright. The silence between the two forces was alive, like a bowstring that no one releases. Krishna looked at his friend, who sat on the floor of the chariot, at his dropped shoulders, at the hands lying open across his knees, empty without the bow. And he smiled quietly, not the smile of someone who feels pity, a different smile, the smile of one who looks at a person standing right at the door, but who does not yet know that it is open. And he began to speak. Krishna smiles, not broadly, not reassuringly. It is the smile of one who sees further. Arjuna sits on the floor of the chariot. The bow Gandiva lies beside him. His hands are empty. And in that emptiness, in the silence that came after all those words, Krishna begins to speak. His first words are not comfort, not a promise that everything will be fine. His first words overturn the very foundation on which Arjuna's grief stands. You grieve for those who do not deserve grief, Krishna says, and yet you speak words of wisdom, direct, clear, spoken with a love that does not soften the truth. This tone will hold throughout the entire teaching, not instruction from above, not sympathy from below, something else, the voice of one who stands beside you and sees more clearly. But who is this charioteer? Arjuna had asked Krishna to be his charioteer, not an advisor, not a teacher, a charioteer, the one who holds the reins, the one who guides the horses. On the surface, this seems a servant's role. But within this role lies an image that existed in India centuries before the Bhagavad Gita. In the ancient Katha Upanishad, the human body is compared to a chariot. The horses are the senses, the reins are the mind, and the charioteer is reason, discernment. But if the charioteer falls asleep, the horses run wherever they please. Krishna has taken the reins. He is the reason that does not sleep. He is the one who sees further down the road than the person sitting behind. The one who holds your reins always sees further than you do. You see faces. You see those you love. You see that they stand on the other side. But he sees where the road leads. What lies beyond this field? What lies beyond this pain? Consider for a moment, has there been a time in your life when someone told you something uncomfortable, something you did not want to accept, and you were angry, or you walked away, and then, much later, you understood? That person saw further. A teacher does not appear in order to agree with you. This is one of the hardest lessons to receive. We seek those who will confirm our rightness, who will say, "Yes, you are right. This is unfair. You deserve better." And those voices are pleasant. They are warm. They are soft. But they do not move you forward. Krishna goes another way. He does not tell Arjuna, I understand. This is hard. He says, your grief is where there is no need for grief. This is a break, almost painful. But the path begins exactly there. Now, about the larger frame that holds this scene. The Bhagavad Gita is not a separate book. It lives inside the Mahabharata, a vast epic that was written and added to over many centuries. 18 books, hundreds of thousands of lines, the longest poetic text in the history of humanity. A story of war between two royal families, of a battle for a kingdom, of betrayal and loyalty, of duty and time. An entire world woven from human lives. And at the very center of this world, a pause, an almost inexplicable pause. Two armies stand facing each other. Everything is ready. The time to begin has come. And suddenly, a warrior lowers his bow, and a charioteer begins to speak. 18 chapters of conversation. 18 chapters inside an epic of 18 books. A coincidence? Perhaps. Or perhaps a number that holds everything together, the way a thread holds beads. The Gita is a jewel inside this ocean, small, precise, alive, while everything around it roars, and collapses. Here it is quiet. Here there are only two voices, one bewildered, one calm. And in this silence, Krishna speaks the first essential truth. He does not say, "Fight, this is your fate." He does not say, "Refuse the battle, this is the path of non-violence." He says something that must have stilled Arjuna even more deeply than before. He says, "You think you are choosing between action and inaction, but that choice is an illusion." The first riddle of the teaching appears here. It does not sound directly. It enters quietly, like cool air through a half-open window. You have not yet understood what changed, but something has. Arjuna thought that not fighting meant being clean, that lowering his bow meant causing no harm. But Krishna leads him to a place where that logic begins to fall apart, where it becomes clear refusing to act is not freedom. Sometimes refusing to act is the tightest chain of all. Invisible, self-imposed, Why? That question will hang in the air over the field of Kuru. The hot wind will carry it over the dust, over the horses, over the tense faces of both armies. The answer will come, but not before Krishna leads Arjuna deeper still into the place where the true nature of action lives. So here is the first riddle Krishna throws out. Not comfort, not a promise. The first thing he says in substance sounds almost harsh, and at the same time, like a sip of cold water in the heat. No one can remain without action, even for a single moment. These words come from the 3rd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. They are simple, they are short, but a whole world is hidden inside them, and the longer you sit with them, the deeper they go. Try not to act. Right now, stop everything. Be still. Don't move. Don't think. Don't want. Don't breathe. And you will feel at once, this is impossible, because in that very second, while you try to be still, your heart beats. Then, once more, your lungs expand without your permission. Blood moves through your vessels, quietly, steadily, never stopping for a moment. Breathing is action. The heartbeat is action. Sleep itself is action. Even the body is a continuous labor that takes no days off, knows no pauses, waits for no command. Krishna explains, there are forces in nature that move the body on their own. 3 springs, 3 qualities from which all living things are woven. 1 draws toward clarity and light. Another toward movement and passion. The 3rd toward heaviness and rest. They act through us the way wind acts through leaves. The leaf does not choose to rustle. It rustles because the wind came. So too, the body, it lives because these deep currents of nature live within it. You do not control the heart. You do not decide when to breathe. You do not command your cells to divide and renew. All of this is already happening inside you, right now, as you lie and listen to these words. And here, Arjuna, and with him, each of us begins to see the trap. Because his refusal to fight looked like height, like wisdom, like a moral choice. he sat on the floor of the war chariot and thought, I will not be part of this. I will step outside of it. I will refuse. And in that refusal, he saw a kind of purity, detachment, something almost holy. But Krishna looks at him calmly and says, You are already in it. You cannot step out because you were never outside. Refusing to fight is also an act. Turning away from duty is also a choice. Sitting in a cave is also action, only with a patch sewn over the conscience. Imagine a person who has decided to step away from everything. He found a quiet place. He sits without moving, arms folded across his chest. He says to himself, I am not involved in anything. I am not connected to anything. I stand apart. But look closely. His heart keeps beating. His blood keeps flowing. His muscles are still tensed in this very posture of stillness. Even the thought, I am not acting, is already an act of the mind. Even the wish to avoid is already a wish. This is a subtle trap, one of the subtlest, the imitation of inaction. A person withdraws from the world not because he has achieved something within, but because he fears what is outside, and calls that fear renunciation. Krishna draws an important line here. There are two paths that sound alike, but lead in different directions. One is to step away from action, to renounce deeds, to freeze, to withdraw. The other is to remain in action, but to renounce the fruit, not the deed, but the craving for its outcome. The first is escape. The second is liberation. And Arjuna on the chariot was choosing the first. He thought that by refusing to fight, he was avoiding sin. But Krishna sees it differently. He is avoiding duty. And those are different things. Because duty does not ask whether it is convenient for you. Duty is the place in the world that only you can fill. Yours, not someone else's, neither above nor below. Yours. And this duty is already acting, already pulling, already knocking from within, the way the heart knocks without permission. Notice how this feels. When something calls you, not from outside, but from within. When you know what must be done, but you hesitate. When you sit still and call it peace, though inside something keeps moving, reaching, searching. This is not anxiety. This is not weakness. This is nature acting through you, like wind through leaves, like water that finds its way downward. There is nowhere to run, no way to stop. Inaction is also a form of action, only with closed eyes. Then only one question remains. It sounds simple, but in it lies the whole path. If action will happen either way, how exactly does one act without becoming tangled in its fruits? How do you walk across this field without sinking into it? There is one inner turning that changes everything. It does not require giving up action. It does not require retreating to a cave. It happens inside, quietly, almost imperceptibly. And Krishna will name it very soon. And no, he has named it nishkama karma. Nishkama karma, a word made of two parts. Nishkama means without desire, without craving. Karma means action, action without craving for its fruit, not indifference to the work, not laziness disguised as talk of freedom, something altogether different, something difficult to reach, because it lives not in the mind, but in what is deeper than the mind. Try to imagine. You are a sower. Early morning, the earth soft after the night's rain. You take a handful of grain. You scatter it. You walk on. You take another handful. You scatter it again. You do not look back. You do not return to the first seed you threw to check whether it has sprouted. You do not stand over the row with a watering can, watching every shoot. You have done your part. The earth will do its part. What takes root will take root. The sower knows this not because he does not care, but because he understands where his work ends and something greater begins. That is nishkama karma. Simple to say, far harder to live. Because we are used to a different way. We are used to clenching in our fist not only the effort, but its fruit. Before the work is even finished, we are already counting the reward. Before the words are spoken, we are already imagining how they will have received. This happens so quietly, so deeply. It feels like part of the action itself, but it is not part of the action. It is a grip a small inner grip that silently tightens everything. Krishna did not say that one should not try hard, did not say one should not be precise, attentive, persistent. He spoke of something else, of what happens inside while you are trying. There is fire, and there is smoke. Fire is full presence in the work, all attention here. Smoke is the inner voice that asks, "What will I get for this?" Nishkama karma is fire without smoke, flame without haze. There is one image that helps you feel this more precisely. An archer prepares to shoot. He takes a long time. He steadies his breath, aims, notices the wind, feels the tension of the string. All attention gathered into one point. Not a single muscle is wasted. This is not carelessness. This is absolute precision. And then the moment of release. The fingers let go. The arrow flies. And that is all. The archer does not run after the arrow. He does not reach forward to guide it in flight. He has let go completely. It is in this moment, the moment of release, that nishkama karma lives. Everything before it, total dedication. Everything after, total freedom from the outcome. This does not mean the archer is indifferent to whether he hits the mark. He wants to hit it. He trained for this. But in the moment of release, the wanting no longer has power. The arrow flies where it flies, and the archer stands still, breathing. Notice how subtle this is. You can work at the very edge of your ability and remain inwardly quiet. You can give yourself completely to the work and at the same time hold no grip on its outcome. This is not a contradiction. It is, perhaps, the most difficult and the most liberating thing the Bhagavad Gita teaches. You are not trying less. You simply stop gripping what does not belong to you. The fruit does not belong to you, not because you are insignificant, but because the fruit is the crossing of your action with 1,000 other forces, with the weather, with time, with other people, with what you cannot see or predict. You bring your part. The rest is not your field. The sower knows this. He scatters the grain and walks on, not with cold indifference, with warm trust. These are very different things. Indifference empties. Trust fills. Try to feel the difference. Remember something you did with full effort, but without anxiety about the result. Perhaps it was a long time ago. Perhaps only briefly. Some simple thing you did just because you were doing it, without looking back, without calculation. Can you remember how it felt? How the body was light and the mind was clear. That is what Krishna is speaking of. This is not a rare experience reserved for great teachers. It is something that already lives in you. Sometimes it surfaces on its own. Nishkama karma is not invented. It is recognized. Arjuna sat on the floor of the chariot and listened. The wind from the plain touched his face. Somewhere behind him, the horses stepped quietly. He heard these words, and something in them was familiar. The way the silence of morning is familiar, the kind you had forgotten, but which remembers you. In the Bhagavad Gita, there is one short line that people have memorized for 18 centuries. It sounds in a way that cannot be confused with anything else. Karmanye vadikaraste, ma phaleshu kadachana. These words have been spoken so often that the sound of them has been worn smooth, like a stone on a path walked by generations. 18 centuries, different voices, different languages, but these words, always the same. They come from the second chapter of the Gita, verse 47, the most well-known verse of all 18 chapters. Krishna speaks it simply, without ornament, like breathing. You have the right only to action, never to its fruits. That is the translation, precise, almost mathematical. But if you listen carefully, something more than a rule sounds in it. Something that feels like liberation. The verse has 4 parts, and each one is a separate instruction. First, you have the right to act, only to that. It is yours, fully. The choice to do something, to scatter the seed, to raise the bow, to extend your hand. This is your territory. Here you are the one in charge. Second, you have no right to the fruits. Never. Not to the harvest, not to the victory, not to gratitude, not to recognition from others. This is not your land. Your foot does not step there. Third, do not think of yourself as the cause of the fruits. Here the thought makes a subtle turn. Even if the result seems to be yours, do not be too quick to claim it. Too many forces take part in any outcome. Wind, time, other people's choices, chance you cannot see. To claim the fruit is to take on responsibility for something that does not belong to you. Fourth, and do not cling to an action. This is the trap that mirrors the first. You might think that if you do nothing, you remain clean, that if you do not scatter the seed, there will be no disappointment in a poor harvest. But that too is a choice. Also an action, only hidden behind a mask of stillness. 4 parts, 4 directions of space, and at the center, a person who stands steady. There is one image that helps you feel what this verse speaks of. Imagine the mind as an accountant. He sits at his desk and counts. He spent effort, entered it as a cost. He got a result, entered it as income. He got nothing, entered it as a loss. He invested again, and again waits for a return. Such a mind never rests. It is always working. Every step is an investment. Every outcome is accounting. And life becomes an endless audit. When the numbers balance, good. When they don't, anxiety. When they still don't, suffering. Krishna says, step away from that desk. Act not as an accountant, but as fire. Fire burns. It keeps no record of what it has warmed and what it has not. It simply burns, fully, steadily, without remainder. You may have already heard about how every action leaves a trace. We spoke of this when we talked about karma and dharma, the law of causes and effects that runs through all living things. That law does not disappear. Traces remain. But karma yoga does not offer to cancel the law. It offers a different relationship to it. To act, not because you expect a particular trace, but because the action itself is right. A seed is put into the earth not because the harvest is certain. It is put there because the earth is waiting for the grain, and the hands know this. This difference is subtle, almost invisible. On the outside, two people may do the very same thing. One works and waits for a reward. The other works and releases the outcome. From the outside, you cannot tell them apart. But inside, two different spaces. One carries the weight of every action, like a merchant dragging behind him everything he ever sold and bought. The other walks lightly, acts and lets go, acts and lets go. Not because he does not care, not because he is indifferent to the world, but because he has understood. Holding on to the fruit does not bring it faster. It only makes you heavier. Arjuna listened. The wind over the field did not die down. The dust still hung in the air. Both armies stood as they had stood before. But something in Krishna's words had touched something deep, somewhere beyond fear, beyond calculation. Karmanye vadikaraste. You have the right only to action. 4 words, simple as morning light, heavy as a stone in the hand, and light if you understand them. But if action is given away, where does it go? If the fruit is not yours, then whose is it? Further on, Krishna will name it. A word that sounded already at ancient fires on the banks of great rivers. Where does the fruit go? That question hangs in the air like smoke after a fire. And to understand the answer, you must go back very far, to where fire burned for the first time, to where the word action had not yet separated from the word offering. Long before Arjuna, long before the field of Kuru, on the banks of the river called Sarasvati, people gathered at fire. That river has long disappeared underground. Its bed today can only be traced by dried marks in the sand. But in those times, it flowed wide and calm, and along its banks, the altar fires stood. These were yajnas, Vedic fire rituals, large and small, at dawn and at noon, at birth and at death. A fire was lit in a stone vessel. Clarified butter, ghee, was poured into it. It would flare, and the flame would reach upward in a thin, golden tongue. The priest sang mantras in Sanskrit, and the sound of those words was as dense as the smell of the burning butter. The smoke rose into the sky, and in that smoke, it was believed, the offering departed, not into emptiness, but to a place that had no other path. Yajna meant a severing. I take something that is mine, grain, butter, a flower, a word, and I release it. I do not sell it. I do not exchange it. I simply give it, expecting nothing back. In that releasing was the meaning. Krishna looked at this fire differently than the priests did, not from outside, but from within. In the 4th chapter of the Gita, he says something like this: the offering is Brahman. The fire is Brahman. The one who offers is Brahman. And the action thrown into this fire is also Brahman. Everything merges. There is no longer I and not I, no giver and no receiver. There is only movement and the silence into which it enters. This is difficult to take in all at once. Let it simply rest nearby. Because Krishna does not stop with the ritual. He continues and says the most important thing. The outer fire is only an image. The true yajna is inner, and it can be performed at any moment, not in a temple, not by a river, right where you stand. A mother rises in the night to her child. She does not think about gratitude. She simply goes, because she cannot do otherwise. And in that tired step through the dark hallway, there is something the ancients would have called a yajna, a quiet offering made without witnesses. A worker does more than is required of him, not for praise, not for a raise, simply because he cannot do the work any other way. He puts something extra into it, something of himself. And that extra, that beyond what is needed, is also an offering. A cook prepares food with love. Not every time, not always, but in those moments when something inside him goes into the meal he is making, the person who eats it can feel it, without words, through the taste, through something that cannot be explained, but can be felt. This is yajna, action that does not hold the fruit to itself, action thrown into the fire. Notice, fire does not always burn visibly. Sometimes fire is a work to which you give yourself completely. You throw into it your plans, your wish to see a result. your need to be noticed. And it burns. And while it burns, you do not diminish. You grow lighter. There is an old observation from the Gita. One who performs action as an offering is freed from its consequences, not because the consequences disappear, but because he no longer holds on to them. He has given. The fruit has gone where smoke goes. Where? You have been asking since the last part, and here is the answer as best it can be given. Not to you, not to any particular person, not to the goal you had in mind when you started. The fruit goes into the fabric of the world, into the common ground that holds everything together. Perhaps this is what was called Brahman, not a god above the clouds, but the foundation into which everything returns. The ancient priests cast butter into the fire and sang. They believed this nourished the gods. Krishna says, "Let the gods be." Something else matters more. What matters is the movement of giving itself. The outward ritual is only a form. Inside, you are learning to release, each time, again and again, until it becomes as natural as breathing. Try to remember a moment when you did something not for yourself, not out of duty and not out of fear, simply because it was right. Perhaps you helped a stranger. Perhaps you finished a piece of work no one would ever see. Perhaps you stayed silent when you could have spoken. And that silence was a gift. What did you feel afterward? Not emptiness. Something else. Something like warmth. That is the trace of yajna. The fire is not always visible from the outside, but it burns, and the smoke from it rises to a place that has no other path. But here, a new question arises. If every action can be offered, then what counts as your action? Not all deeds are the same. Not everything fits everyone. There is something called fate, birth, nature. And so, before giving, one must understand what is truly one's own. That question hangs in the air, like dust behind a passing chariot. To whom do you make the offering? What can you call your own action, if life has already placed you exactly where you are? It is here that Krishna speaks words the Gita has preserved with particular care, not as abstract wisdom, as an answer spoken face to face. Better your own dharma, performed imperfectly, than the dharma of another, performed with brilliance. This is chapter 3, verse 35. One of the shortest in the Gita, one of the hardest to hear. Because we live in an age of other people's perfect paths. They are everywhere. One person has achieved everything you wanted and did it beautifully. Another has renounced everything, and his face shines. A third has found his calling and wakes up smiling every morning. We watch and think, that is how it should be done. That is the right life. But Krishna says, wait. The word he uses is svadharma. This is not simply duty. You may have already encountered dharma in this journey. It is wider than obligation. It is the law of your being. The dharma of stone is to be solid. The dharma of water is to flow. The dharma of fire is to burn. But svadharma is not simply dharma. It is your dharma, with the small prefix sva, own, personal. Your own duty, not shared, not borrowed, not copied from someone whose life you found admirable. Try to feel this, not to understand with the mind, to feel. There is something in you that cannot be replaced by any skill, any effort, any example from the outside, something that only you bring into the world. Sometimes it is clear and loud, more often quiet, almost silent, but it is there. In ancient times, svadharma was explained through caste. Born a warrior, the warrior's path. Born a craftsman, the craftsman's path. But already, Krishna points beyond this. Arjuna's doubt is not about breaking a social law. His doubt comes because he sees living people he loved. And Krishna does not speak to him about caste. He speaks about nature. Svadharma is your own voice in the world, the one through which you hear life, and through which you answer it. Arjuna is offered the warrior's path, not the hermit's path, though that would look beautiful from the outside. Not the sage's path, though that would have its own legitimacy. Precisely the warrior's path, with all its pain, all its responsibility, with its impossibility of retreat. This is his svadharma, and to walk it poorly trembling, in doubt, in tears, is better than to play someone else's role with perfection. You have already heard about the 8 limbs in the episode on Patanjali's yoga. That is a different yoga, a different path, but the same horizon of freedom. In both, the question of how to become yourself, how to find a path that is not copied, but lived. There is one particular quality about another person's perfect path. It shines. It is beautiful. It inspires. But inside it, there is a subtle emptiness, like a porcelain bowl that looks untouched, but was not made by your hands. You can live such a life very skillfully, achieve everything that is achievable in it. But at some moment, in the quiet, on the edge of sleep, just as it is now, you will feel that it was never about you. Your own imperfect path is made differently. It is uneven. It has places where you fell, made mistakes, places where you did not know how to go forward. But in it, something warm is burning, like a coal under ash, which does not smoke beautifully, but holds heat through the night. This is the fire of authenticity. You will not mistake it for anything else once you feel it. Seeking svadharma is a quiet inner work, not a single revelation, not a moment when everything becomes clear, more like a long listening, the way a gardener comes to the earth each morning and simply looks. What is growing here? What asks for water? What reaches toward the light on its own without effort? Perhaps it is a work you enter and do not notice time passing. Perhaps it is a presence beside someone when words are not needed. Perhaps it is the ability to see what others do not see and to speak of it plainly. Your svadharma does not have to be grand. It simply has to be yours. And then the offering you make to the fire of action, the fire of service, is no longer foreign. It becomes what only you can bring. Not because you are the best, but because this fire burns in exactly this place, in exactly this life. Krishna says to Arjuna, "Go your own path, terrifying, difficult, full of doubt, but your own. Because only in your own path is life." And then something begins to clarify. when svadharma is found, not once and for all, but again and again, in each choice, action changes its nature. It stops being something you do for something. It becomes what you are, fully inside your own work, fully in the current, and at the same time, fully free. The Bhagavad Gita names such a person with one word. It is not a title, not a rank. It is a portrait of one who breathes steadily in the middle of a storm. Sthitaprajna. The Gita speaks this word slowly, almost carefully, as though naming someone standing nearby who does not know they are being seen. Steady in wisdom, grounded in understanding. Literally, one whose wisdom is rooted the way an old tree is rooted in the earth. Imagine that tree. It has seen many autumns, many storms. Leaves fell and came back. Branches bent and straightened. But the roots go down to where the storm does not reach. Into this part of the tree, the wind does not penetrate. Krishna draws the portrait of such a person, not a hermit in a mountain cave, not a monk who has renounced the world for 20 years, but someone standing here in the middle of a field where there is dust and shouting, where everything is being decided right now, and breathing steadily, not shaken by praise or blame, not swept away by pain or pleasure, not because he does not feel, but because he is deeper than feeling. The Gita compares him to a lake, a deep, still lake into which rivers pour from all sides. In spring, swift currents from the mountains. In summer, murky flood waters. But the lake does not overflow its banks. It receives everything and remains itself. The banks hold. The surface, in time, grows calm again. This is the second image from the second chapter of the Gita, verse 70. It will stay in memory on its own. Feelings come and go like seasons. Joy, like summer, arrives, warms, and passes. Grief, like winter, covers the earth, but the earth beneath the snow does not disappear. It waits. The tree stands. Bare branches are not the end of the tree. This is simply winter. Sthitaprajna is not frozen. He has not switched off his heart. He has not become stone. This is not cooling. This is deepening. Imagine there are several layers within you. The topmost, the one that delights in a gift and winces at pain. This is a normal layer, a human one. But beneath it, another, slower, quieter, the one that notices both joy and pain, but does not fully merge with them. Sthitaprajna is one in whom this second layer has become home. One who lives not on the surface of the wave, but in the depth where the waves are no longer so strong. Krishna offers another image, a tortoise. When danger is near, a tortoise draws all its limbs inside the shell, feet, head, tail, everything that was outside. Everything pulls inward, and on the outside, only a hard surface that cannot be broken through. Sthitaprajna knows how to do the same, not because he is cowardly, but because he knows not every blow requires a response. Not every provocation is worthy of a reaction. There is wisdom in being able to pull the inner self inside for protection, to let the wave pass, and then to come back out when the time has come. This is not weakness. It is a different kind of control. One who cannot draw himself inward reacts to everything. He lives in constant response to the external. He tires quickly. His balance depends on what others say. One who can pull himself inside the shell chooses when to open. In the episode on Advaita, we heard the word Jivan Mukta, one liberated while still living. Sthitaprajna is his face in the teaching of the Bhagavad Gita. A different path, a different language, but a recognizable silhouette. He lives among people. He eats, sleeps, speaks, does his work. He is on the field of Kuru, not in a cave, but inside him something flows that does not depend on whether his army wins today. Praise does not inflate him. Blame does not hollow him out. Pain does not break him. Pleasure does not pull him into the swamp. Not because he does not feel these things, but because he does not fully identify himself with them. It is like the ability to look at fire without becoming the fire. You may have noticed something happens, something touches you, something contracts inside. And in that moment, there is a choice, not always a visible one, but it is there, to become that contraction, or to remain the one who notices it. Sthitaprajna is always the one who remains noticing, not a detached observer without a heart, but a living, feeling being who does not lose the thread back to his center. His face is calm, not because he does not care, but because inside him there is a deep lake, and rivers flow into it, and the water level almost never changes. The Gita says, "This is not a goal to be reached by clenching your teeth. It is a fruit, the fruit of right action, the fruit of nishkama karma, the fruit of svadharma, the fruit of yajna." When all of this lives in a person for a long time, it eventually settles and becomes steadiness. Sthitaprajna is not achieved. One arrives at it, quietly, imperceptibly, the way evening comes to the day, not announcing itself, simply becoming. And here is what is remarkable. This person continues to act. He has not left. He is here. He will raise the bow when the time comes. He will do what must be done. Only now, from a different place within himself. But there is still one more level, one question that Krishna will ask later. What if you must act even when you need nothing anymore? Nothing at all. Not even liberation. There is a particular silence that comes to one who is no longer seeking anything. When desires have settled, when the mind has become like water in a deep bowl, still, calm, transparent. You might think that such a person has every right to stop, to step aside, to sit under a tree and simply be. But Krishna says otherwise. On the field of Kuru, in the hot and motionless noonday air, between two armies waiting for the signal, words are spoken that overturn the very idea of what it means to be free. They come from verse 22 of the 3rd chapter of the Gita. There is nothing in all 3 worlds that I need to do, nothing I have not already attained, and nothing yet to be attained. And yet I do not cease from action, for if I were to stop, people would follow my example. Sit with this thought. Do not rush. The one who has nothing left to achieve does not rest. The one who has no need of anything continues, not because he must, not because he fears the consequences, but because his action is no longer for himself. It is for those who are still on the way. The Sanskrit word for this is loka sangraha, 2 syllables, 2 worlds. Loka, the world, the people, living beings. Sangraha, holding together, the common good, unity. Loka sangraha, literally, the upholding of the world, keeping people from falling. This is not charity. This is not duty in the ordinary sense, something more subtle. When a teacher does something, the students watch his hands, not only his words, not only his teaching, precisely his hands, how he raises a cup, how he opens a door, how he walks on the earth. The student's mind follows the teacher's action, not his theory, but his living deed. And if the teacher stops acting, something very important quietly goes out. Krishna speaks of this directly. If I stop, they will stop too. They will grow confused. They will lose the thread. The world will shake. This sounds elevated, but at its heart, a simple, almost ordinary truth. When the adult in a family stops working, the younger ones absorb not his wisdom, but his fatigue. When the one who is trusted turns away, those who trusted lose their bearings. Loka sangraha is not heroism. It is the quiet responsibility of the mature. And here lies a paradox that the Gita unfolds with particular care. The less you need from the result of an action, the more precise it becomes, the cleaner, the stronger. When there is no craving, no desperate grasping at outcomes, no fear of losing, the hand does not tremble. The blacksmith who strikes not from anger and not from pride, but simply because this is his work, strikes true, calm, inevitable. A liberated person is not weaker than an ordinary one. He is more precise. Sometimes you wonder, what holds the world together? Not in a cosmic sense, in the most ordinary one. What keeps it from sliding into indifference, into coldness, into the complete collapse of connection, perhaps it is exactly such people. Those who no longer need anything, who act not from hunger, but from love, not from fear, but from fullness. There is something in this that even a sage who has understood the depths of things cannot allow himself to forget. One who knows that the world is a play of shadows and reflections, that behind the dense fabric of events, something motionless and eternal is hidden. Even such a person does not leave the game. He stays and plays, but plays differently now, with lightness, with love, without grasping, because the game is also a form of care for those who are still lost in it. Return to the field of Kuru. Imagine this charioteer on the war chariot. He has no personal enemies in this war, no personal stake in this battle. He needs no victory, no glory, no land. And yet he is here. He drives the horses. He speaks. He did not leave. This is Loka Sangraha. Not a grand gesture, not a sole act of heroism, simply presence, action, continuation. Feel how there is a particular peace in this thought, not the peace of inaction, but the peace of fullness. When you do something, not because you want to receive, but because it is needed by the world right now, right here, in the place where you stand, without any claim on the fruit, without waiting for gratitude, simply because you are here and the world needs your hands. Perhaps this is the highest form of freedom, not I do nothing, but I act, and I need nothing in return. Loka Sangraha, the upholding of the world, the quiet action of one who is already free. This fire, lit on the field of Kuru more than 2,000 years ago, did not die in the dust of those battles. It found its way. Through years, through mountains, through oceans, and one day, this idea would cross the centuries and sail across the sea. It would find new voices, new hands, new ground. Autumn of 1893, Chicago. In the Columbus Hall, several thousand people had gathered. The parliament of the world's religions, the first in history. Clergy, theologians, and thinkers from different countries sat in rows, each in their own robes, carbide lamps cast a steady yellowish light. The air smelled of wood and paper, and the warmth of many people gathered closely together. Among them was a young man in the saffron robes of a sannyasin, a turban the color of the setting sun, dark eyes in which something sharp and calm burned at the same time. He held no honored place at the podium, no long title to his name, no official delegation. Simply a monk from India. When he rose to the stage and spoke his first words, "Brothers and sisters of America," the hall rose to its feet, not out of politeness. Something in those words touched something deep. He called strangers his family, and they felt it. His name was Swami Vivekananda. He was 30 years old. A few years later, in New York, he gave lectures. Small rooms, attentive listeners, candles and stacks of notebooks. Then, those lectures were gathered into a book. It was called, simply, Karma Yoga. Thin, without ornament, but a whole world lived inside it. He did not speak about caves or asceticism. He spoke about action, about how the path to freedom runs directly through life, through work, through effort, through service, not around it, but through it. For the first time, the words Karma Yoga were spoken in English with such clarity, and the Western world heard them. Years passed. On the other side of India, another man opened a small book each morning. He had done this for decades. Wherever he was, in a prison cell, on a train, in a house by the ocean, he read the Bhagavad Gita. Slowly, a few verses at a time, like a prayer, like a compass. His name was Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. For him, the Gita was not an ancient monument. It was a living guide. He translated it into Gujarati, wrote a commentary on it, and gave his own practice a particular name, Anasakti Yoga, the yoga of non-attachment. This was his own word for Karma Yoga, to act without clinging to the fruit, to resist injustice without hatred for the opponent, to move forward, not knowing whether you will win, to scatter the seed and step back, again and again, in the salt marshes, in prison, on a dusty road where thousands of people followed a single man with a staff, Anasakti Yoga became the heart of satyagraha. Non-violence, not from fear. Non-violence from inner freedom. Action without craving for victory. And precisely because of that, so enduring. Further south, in Pondicherry, on the shores of the Bay of Bengal, another man was building his ashram, Sri Aurobindo. Once a politician, then a mystic, he called his path Integral Yoga, where karma, knowledge, and love melt into one. A quiet shore, white houses, the smell of salt and jasmine. He wrote thousands of pages about how consciousness descends into the very thickness of life and is transformed there. And something altogether different, the northeast of the country, Calcutta, the noisiest, most alive, most wounded city. Through its streets walked a small woman in a white sari with a blue border. Early in the morning, before the markets had opened, when the dogs still dozed in the shadows, she walked to the dying, to those left on doorsteps, to those no one was waiting for. Mother Teresa did not give lectures on karma yoga. She may never have used that word. But every step through those streets was precisely this: action without calculation of fruit. To lift a person from the stones, to offer water, to simply be present, not because there would be a reward, but because there was no other way. None of them held the Bhagavad Gita in the same way. None walked a single path. One, to the stage in Chicago, another, to the ocean with a staff, a third, into the silence of a white house, a fourth, into the darkness of city alleyways. But in each of them, one thing was alive. The teaching had left the field of Kuru and found new fields. Perhaps this is how living knowledge works. It is not stored in a chest. It finds the hands that can carry it, and every pair of hands carries it differently. There will be another conversation later about the path of love, about bhakti yoga, where the heart itself becomes the road. That is a separate story, quiet and deep. But now, something else. Vivekananda, Gandhi, Aurobindo, Teresa. Their lives are separated by years and temperaments. But all of them, in essence, did one thing. They acted completely and let go, each time, again and again. And here a question arises that lives quietly at the end of this part. Because not everyone is Gandhi. Not everyone is born with a mission they feel in their chest. What is an ordinary person to do? One who has no army behind him, no field of Kuru, no story that will later be written into books. The answer to this question did not live on the field of Kuru. It lived in a mountain monastery, in a hospital corridor, in a schoolroom after the bell. It lived in thousands of places that no one thought important enough to record in history. This is called seva, a simple word. It translates as selfless service, not a heroic deed, not a mission, not a great path, simply doing for another, expecting nothing in return. Seva is karma yoga on the scale of one day, perhaps 1 hour, sometimes 1 minute. Imagine a mountain monastery, high up, the air thin, almost transparent. In the morning, mist hangs over the ridges, and the silence is so complete you can hear the butter lamp burning. A monk stands at a stone basin, washing dishes after breakfast. Ordinary dishes, cold water, the ripple on the surface, and his reflection in it, blurred, shifting. He is not thinking about enlightenment, not thinking about how many more years he will wash these dishes. He simply washes, attentively, completely, as though this is the only thing that exists right now. The water, the clay, the movement of his hands, and something very quiet inside. This is seva, not because the dishes matter, but because the attention is clean. In a hospital in Calcutta, a volunteer worked. No name in the records, no awards. He came in the mornings, changed bandages, adjusted pillows, sometimes just sat beside someone who was in great pain. He was not paid. No one waited to thank him. Many of the patients were too weak to speak. But he came, day after day, because in those corridors there was something that drew him there more strongly than any explanation. Perhaps he was not serving them. Perhaps they were giving him something he could find nowhere else. There is something important in this thought. Stay with it. In a small village in southern Bengal lived Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, a priest at the temple of the goddess Kali in Dakshineswar, a small, dark-skinned, simple-looking man in whom something unbearably bright was burning. At the temple doors, beggars gathered every day. The poor, the hungry, the sick. Many priests turned away. Ramakrishna did not. In each person at his door, he did not see a beggar or a burden. He saw God, arriving at his threshold in another form, and he fed them, and looked them in the eyes, and bowed, not from politeness, from what he actually saw. This is not a metaphor or an exaggeration. This was his living reality. Every person at the door as a manifestation of God. This is where Siva becomes something greater than a kind deed. In a small school, far from the big cities, a teacher stayed after class. The students had gone, noisily, joyfully. But one boy had not left. He sat at his desk, staring at his notebook, with that particular expression, the look of confusion that builds in silence. The teacher could have left too. No one would have noticed. But he sat down beside the boy and began to explain again, quietly, without hurry, until something in the notebook became clear. One child, one evening. No entry in any record. Perhaps that one evening changed something for that boy. Siva does not ask about scale. It asks about the quality of presence. There is one more small scene. A man on the subway stands and gives up his seat to an elderly woman, tired, carrying a heavy bag. He stands quietly, without words, without a gesture that says, "Look at me." He simply gives the seat and steps back. The woman sits. She may not even look after him, but something in the car changes. The air grows a little lighter, imperceptibly, but it happens. To bring a glass of water, to hold a door open, to listen, to do a little more than is expected, and say nothing about it. Each of these actions can be offered, can be performed not for gratitude, not for a sense of one's own importance, not in order to say to yourself later, "I did a good thing." And here lies the subtle point, the most important warning. Service without releasing the fruit turns into something else. When a tally begins to build inside, I have done so much. I have helped so many people. Why am I not valued? Why is no one grateful? This is no longer seva. This is the accounting of goodness, the same craving for a result, only dressed in noble clothing. Karma Yoga warns, spiritual pride is the quietest and the most durable of chains, because it resembles virtue. True seva leaves no debt in the one who performs it. Or rather, it leaves a trace, but not as a favor that must be repaid, more like warmth that radiates of its own accord. You do not need the field of Kuru. You do not need an army to lead. You do not need a front, and you do not need a mission written in sacred books. Karma Yoga finds you where you are, in the room where you are now, with the people who are near, in small actions that no one will ever call great. The monk at the basin, the volunteer in the corridor, the teacher who stayed after the bell, the person who stood up on the subway, Ramakrishna bowing to the one asking at the temple door. All of them knew one thing, not with the mind, but with their hands, their feet, their hearts. Action performed without craving for an answer is no less than a great deed. It is perhaps more, because it requires no stage, only presence. And while these small stories settled into the silence, somewhere far away on the plain of Kurukshetra, the conversation between the charioteer and the warrior was drawing to its close. Arjuna still sat on the floor of the chariot. The bow Gandiva lay beside him, and Krishna fell silent. The last words of the teaching dissolved into the hot air above the field. What happened next? That story lies ahead. Krishna fell silent, simply fell silent, the way a bell falls silent after its last stroke, when the sound still lives in the air, but has already begun to become something else. A silence larger than the sound itself. Arjuna sat on the floor of the chariot. He had been sitting there since the moment his legs gave way and his body sank down on its own. The dust of Kurukshetra lay on his palms. The bow Gandiva, the one given to him by the gods themselves, rested beside him, heavy, cold, silent. Before him stood two armies, the same banners, the same dust, the same faces in the distance. But something had changed. something inside him was different. Not the armies, not the field, he himself. Then he spoke quietly, like a person who has just woken and is saying the first words of a new day. My confusion is gone, he said. I stand ready to do as you say. This is the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, the last lines of the conversation, and in them, not triumph, not an oath, simply clarity, the kind that cannot be explained, but is easy to recognize. When the fog lifts, not because you drove it away, but because the wind shifted. Arjuna picked up Gandiva, not from rage, not from resentment, not for the sake of victory or revenge, from clarity, because this was his svadharma, his one place in this vast world. He stood. He took a step. Inside him, it was quiet. This is karma yoga, not peace on the outside, but peace on the inside, even when war rages outside. Not an empty heart, but a heart that has released its grip. Action without fear of the result. A step without the weight of 1,000 possible consequences. He moved forward and carried with him nothing that was not needed. Perhaps this is what those who read the Bhagavad Gita thousands of years later had in mind. Swami Vivekananda, who crossed the ocean and brought this teaching to another shore. Mahatma Gandhi, who each morning opened his worn copy of the book and found in it not a call to battle, but a guide to inner freedom. Mother Teresa in the back streets of Calcutta, who perhaps never heard the word nishkama karma, but knew this state with her whole body. All of them walked, each across their own field, each carrying something given away. And you too will remember one field, the field of the body, which we spoke of earlier, when we walked together the path of Hatha Yoga. That path led through breath and movement, through form and fire. This path through action and release. But at the end, the same door, the same silence behind it. Two paths to one freedom. Sometimes they walk side by side. Sometimes they meet in a single step. Now, a moment for you. Tomorrow, you will wake. This day will begin, the way all days begin. Something will need to be done. Something is waiting. Something weighs on you. Someone will call. Something will not go the way you hoped. Something will turn out differently. And here is the question that Krishna asked Arjuna at dawn over the plain of Kuru. It did not leave with that dawn. It still hangs in the air, light as the smell of smoke from a dying fire. Is it possible to take a step and not cling to what happens after? Is it possible to put into the work everything you know how to give and release the fruit, the way an archer releases the arrow at the moment of the shot? Not because it does not matter, but because you have already given everything you could. This is not indifference. This is not coldness. This is a particular kind of freedom, the kind that does not require silence outside, the kind that lives within, even while the battle rages. Arjuna took a step, and we no longer know what he felt afterward. The Bhagavad Gita ends before the battle begins. It stops exactly here, on this step, on this clarity, on this exhale, before the world grows loud again. Perhaps that is right. Perhaps what matters is not what happens next, but the state of heart with which you go there. The chariot between two armies is not only the field of Kuru, it is any morning when you stand between who you were yesterday and who you might become. Any moment when doubt rises and you must move forward anyway. And the answer is the same one Krishna gave at dawn. Go, act, give, let go. On listen and sleep we walked this field together. We walked it for a long time. We listened as Krishna spoke to the warrior who had lowered his bow. We followed the thread of the teaching as it stretches across the centuries without breaking. We sat by the fire of yajna. We listened for svadharma in the quiet. And now we stop here, where words end and simply life begins. Everything is quiet now. Your breath grows slower. Your thoughts grow lighter. The images drift away like boats on still water. The field of Kuru grows distant. The sound of the conch fades. The dust settles. What remains is only the dark, soft, warm, the kind that comes under closed eyelids when the body has already relaxed and the mind still holds on to the last thin thread. Let it go. You have nothing to hold tonight. Not the outcome, not the plan, not the worry about tomorrow. All of it can wait. All of it has already been given to where it needs to go. Breathe. Simply breathe. This is the only action required of you right now. And even this is happening on its own. Sleep peacefully.